I do feel that most of these clinic owners, or at least the ones that I've dealt with, have this Napoleonic complex of it's their way or the highway, they know everything, you know nothing, their information's valid, your research is... What's up, freaks? You guys read the caption. 5 years on TRT. Everything you're going to want to know. We're going to conclude all of this as quick as possible. And before we get into it, disclaimer, this video is for entertainment and educational purposes only. So I'm going to do my best to save you of all the boring details. We're going to kind of speed run through my early life. Had a fairly normal and positive upbringing, though I was never really athletic or that active outside. I was kind of somewhat sedentary, and I tried some after-school sports, but admittedly I was a sore loser, so I really didn't take well to it. And of course, I come from a family that loves to cook, loves to eat, like most families do, and I found myself gaining weight into my teen years. So fast forward to probably late 2015, early 2016, which, God, 10 years ago now, crazy. I finally reached my first breaking point. I found myself at about 195 pounds at 5'9", couldn't even do a push-up, absolutely hated myself, I hated how I looked, and it was time to make a change. So being influenced by a great friend of mine, I joined a cardio kickboxing class, and I think in 2 months I lost like 20 or 30 pounds. It was something pretty crazy, and that essentially kickstarted my weight loss journey. Then fast forward to the end of 2016, I discovered weight training. And of course, this is around the time I was getting a bit more active on Instagram and started seeing these fitness influencers such as David Lade, for example, Dylan McKenna. And that would essentially kickstart my weight training journey. So early 2017, I'm getting into the gym, but kind of misguided, don't really know what's happening, making a little bit of results, but quickly hit a wall. And sadly, that cycle would kind of repeat itself throughout 2018 and into 2019. And again, my training was misguided, my nutrition was all over the place, I was not consistent, but one thing I did see that was consistent is that other people were coming into the gym and skyrocketing past me with their results. And of course, that's hard to watch. I was like, how come they're getting results, but I'm not? Am I not working hard enough? Hindsight, I probably wasn't, but I didn't really feel like some of these people were necessarily working any harder than I was to have better results. And throughout all this time as well, of course, getting active in the, fitness and bodybuilding Instagram and YouTube space, I would come to discover PED influencer Ryan Russo, then More Plates, More Dates, then Mark Bell. So, of course, the entire time, PEDs are in the back of my head. I'm researching all of this stuff, figuring out what testosterone is, TRT, suppression, PEDs, all these different things. And of course, you start contemplating. And this would kind of lead me to my second breaking point in late 2019, where I was like, man, I've been in the gym for 2.5 years now. I'm not getting any results. Something's got to give. So I had a really good friend start coaching me at the time, and he was like, hey, you don't need TRT. You've probably got a lot more left in the tank. Let's really see what we can do with some consistent programming and some better nutrition. And I was like, yeah, sounds like a great plan, but I still want to get a blood test done just to see where I'm at. As you can see here on the screen, pretty underwhelming results, right? He was like, don't worry about it, dude. Just keep working hard. Everything's going to be okay. You can make better results. So I was like, okay, let's put this to the side. Let's just work hard and see what happens. So this was from January through July, more consistent with my nutrition than ever before, training harder than ever before, and still I'm just getting blown out of the water by these 18-year-olds coming in the gym, skyrocketing past me with their results. And finally, on to the good part of the story, the straw that broke the camel's back. At the time I was working a warehouse job. My warehouse manager was this 50-year-old guy, super cool dude, I'd known him for years. And one day he comes up to me, he's like, hey Cam, have you ever heard of insert TRT clinic? And I immediately knew where this story was going. And he proceeds to tell me how he's starting TRT and I should try it too. And I had this epiphany, kind of brick to the face moment of okay, this guy that doesn't even work out is hopping on TRT, yet here I am actively trying to pursue bodybuilding and I'm not? What am I doing? What is going on here? So at that moment I was like, okay, I've had enough, we're hopping on. And again, this was July of 2020. I was, I think, 23, about to turn 24 years old. I went and got my bloods again, and boom, as you can see right here, 250 nanograms per deciliter. Now keep in mind, I'm drinking a gallon of water a day, I'm sleeping 8 hours a night, I'm getting plenty of sunlight and exercise, I'm not drinking any alcohol. These blood tests were all done fasted in the morning too, on a Saturday morning. So I'm not doing anything that could have artificially crashed my levels. So if I'm at 350 on a good day, 250 on a bad day. So after weighing out all my options, doing all this research, and ultimately accepting the reality of potentially permanent suppression of my natural levels, I was like, yeah, let's do it. So again, that was in July of 2020. We're now in January of 2026. So we're coming up on 6 whole years on TRT. Results. What have my results been? I believe that TRT has allowed me to progress like a healthy natural would. I wouldn't even go as far as to say as a natural with good genetics. And it's hard to quantify exactly how much muscle I've gained over the last 5 years. I'm estimating probably somewhere around 40 pounds of muscle. I really don't know though. It's all speculation. We have no clue really. It's hard to quantify that. And I've seen a steady, slow, linear progression over the years despite any extracurriculars I might have used in between. I've always had slow and steady gains, and over the years I found the better my nutrition and training has gotten, the better my results have gotten. So ultimately, training and nutrition reign supreme above all. If you're considering going on TRT for maybe some of these performance benefits that I was looking for, just know that if you're not already putting in the work 7 days a week, a needle is not going to fix that. TRT doesn't work unless you do. Side effects. What side effects have I gotten from TRT? Firstly, when I started, I had horrible acne. This is likely due to me starting at a higher body fat percentage, which for those of you who may not have researched this that much, the higher body fat you are when taking testosterone, more of it is going to aromatize into estrogen, and you're going to have more of those estrogenic side effects. So a ton of acne on my back, which has cleared up over the years with being at a leaner body composition, but also maintaining better hygiene, such as showering every morning, showering every night too. Body hair growth. So again, at the time I was 23, I thought I was mostly developed when I started TRT. I used to just have hair kind of going up my forearms. Now it actually goes up my entire tricep and delt region as well. Same thing with chest hair. I used to just have a little bit around my nipples, but now it actually spreads and covers the entire chest plate. Thick black hair. Same thing with the stomach. I used to just have a little patch in the middle. Now it spreads all the way out. Deepening of the voice. My voice has gotten fairly deeper over the last 5 years too. Of course, the testes do shrink as they're essentially going dormant from their natural production, but I would go as to argue that the biggest side effect from TRT is the suppression. When you take endogenous testosterone, your body sends signals to itself to stop your natural endogenous production. And what they don't tell you is that there's really no guarantee that that production will ever come back if you stop taking testosterone. Some people will claim that you can, it's easy, it'll come right back. I've heard otherwise. I wouldn't want to gamble it. I started TRT with the intention of staying on TRT indefinitely. And then lastly, has there been mental side effects? Debatable. I won't comment on that. Final thoughts and summary. If you're going to go to a TRT clinic, I do feel that most of these clinic owners, or at least the ones that I have dealt with, have this Napoleonic complex of it's their way or the highway, they know everything, you know nothing, their information's valid, your research is invalid, essentially. I mean, at the end of the day, my body, my choice, right? Just give me the prescription. Don't tell me how to administer it. I'll do it my way because I know it works best because I've researched this heavily, and they're just reading off of a pamphlet and telling me what to do. And at the end of the day, they're not doctors either. They're phlebotomists that are essentially salespeople for this product. Overall, I wouldn't change anything. I'm 100% happy I've started TRT. It has been positive and life-changing in the best way for me, and I wouldn't have it any other way. So guys and gals, whoever's watching this, I hope this information was not only fun to hear, but informative. And again, just do your own research and come to your own conclusion about this stuff. And I wish you guys nothing but the best.